Hey everyone, welcome back to the vlog. About a week ago, we got back from Disney World. I think I mentioned this in my previous vlog, but we were surprising my two boys, Theo and Calvin. They are 5 and 7. So we had this planned for like a year, and we thought with the ages that they are, 5 and 7, that it would be the perfect time to do like the whole surprise, we're taking you to Disney World. So we woke them up actually at like 4:15 or so in the morning because our flight was at 7:30. And we woke them up. They thought they were going to school that day. It was the last Friday before February vacation for us up here. And I said, we have a big surprise. You need to come downstairs. And they're so tired, but it was so cute. It took them like a few minutes to process, but then once they were like, oh my God, we're leaving right now. So this is what that looked like.
It's really early on the last day of school before February break, okay? But we had to wake you up because there's something that we've been doing. We've been waiting to show you. So wait right here, we'll call you right down, okay?
This makes it faster. Wait, where are we going?
Right here. Come back over here where Theo is.
Where are we going?
What does this mean?
This looks like Disney World.
Do you want to go to Disney World?
Yeah!
Guess what?
We're going to Disney World.
Right now. Right now. Are you excited?
Yeah!
Yeah. Do you want to go? Guess what? Look at that suitcase. Look at it's already packed for you.
Okay, I guess this is mine. This is Theo's.
Do you want to get dressed and go?
Yeah?
To Disney World?
We've been surprising you this whole time.
We've been planning this
We
for
already
a long
planned
time.
this.
Yeah.
I thought since we just got back and it's still kind of fresh in my mind that I would give you a little rundown of what we did in Disney World and just some of the new tips because we used Genie Plus. We ended up using that every day, and spoiler alert, we got on every single ride, almost. There's one we didn't get on that I'll tell you about. But we got on every single ride that we wanted to without waiting in like any lines. I think we actually chose to stand in line once and it was about 25 minutes. So we were there for 4 full days. We did one park every single day. So if you like Disney World, I think you'll like this video. And if not, you might like hearing what we did anyway. I'll be sure to share pictures throughout this and just kind of give you a quick picture of what our trip was like in case you're planning on going anytime soon. Okay, so day 1 was the surprise and we left really early in the morning. Like I said, our flight was at 7:30. We landed, I think it was only about 3 hours. So we landed around 10:30. We hopped in a car picking us up from the airport because they no longer do the Disney transportation. We used to take the big bus. So instead we rented a car to bring us to the Grand Floridian. That's where we ended up staying. We were originally going to stay at the Contemporary, but they were still refurbishing our rooms, I guess. So like, what was it? I think in January. So only like a month before we left, we got an email saying they would like to upgrade us to the Grand Floridian, which meant we had a view of the fireworks, which was so cool. So we went right to the Grand Floridian. And because you can walk to Magic Kingdom from the Grand Floridian, we didn't even go into the hotel room. We literally got off the van, gave the bags to the bellhop, and we walked right to Magic Kingdom. As we were walking in, the 12 o'clock parade was coming right down Main Street. Here you can see my boys waving at the characters already. It was like magical. So we did purchase the Genie Plus for every day that we were there. So it was an additional $15 per day per person, but with the Genie Plus, you can choose what time you can go on the different rides. So while I was on the plane, there was no mad rush to get anything quickly because we were only going to be there for a little bit. We just wanted to hop into a park real quick and check out a little Disney World. So when I was on the plane, I ended up getting 2 different ride passes, lightning lanes. I got one for Haunted Mansion and I got another for Aladdin's Magic Carpet. So I was able to secure both of those for the afternoon. So basically we walked right in, we went to both of those rides, and then we left. We ended up spending a whole day at Magic Kingdom later in our trip. We just really wanted to kind of get the feel, get the boys excited, and it did just that. It was perfect to say hi to some characters, go on some rides, and then we actually went to Disney Springs for dinner. We went to this place called Chef Art's Homecoming. It was basically modern country style food and it was delicious. This was recommended by a friend. So, so good. Our dinner, it was more like a late lunch, was like $3.50. We ended up going home and just passing out because it was a crazy long travel day. And because the next day we had Epcot. Okay, since day 2 was our first like full day doing the whole Genie Plus thing, I had looked up a ton of different blogs I read, and I talked to some friends who recently went to Disney World. So I had the Genie Plus system kind of down pat. Basically what happens is at 7 o'clock in the morning, you can go on to your Disney app and you'll have if you purchase the Genie Plus, you will be able to right away purchase a lightning lane, which gives you like an hour time slot to go to whatever ride you chose. And then you can also purchase the individual lightning lanes, which are extra. There's 2 at every park that are additional. They're always changing things in terms of which ones are paid and which ones are not. But when we went, there were 2 at every park except Animal Kingdom because Everest is down. So there was only 1 there. So the night before, I'd actually go into my tip board and I would pick like 2 of my favorite rides or 2 top rides that we wanted to try. That way when I went in right at 7 o'clock in the morning, right on the dot, because rides sell out very quickly, right at 7 o'clock I was able to go on, and because I picked them on my tip board, they were already at the top. So the week we were there, the 2 you could buy at Epcot were Frozen Never After. These were the individual ones, and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, the new Remy ride. So we were able to purchase both of those, but before I did that, I quickly got an early time slot for Test Track, which was not an individual one, that was just paid for by the Genie Plus. So I got us an early Test Track and I got us the 2 lightning lanes. Remy's was so busy that even though I was there like by 7:01, I had already done it. I didn't get a time until like 2:30 p.m. So because we're up early anyway, we ended up just going right over to Epcot. It opened up at 9, so we rope dropped the park. We could get there at 8:30 because we were staying on Disney property. And then we went right to Soarin', which was so much fun. We then went over to our Test Track. Then we just kind of like walked around. We did a whole bunch of other rides and ate some lunch, did our Frozen ride, we did the Ratatouille ride, both I highly recommend. We had an absolute ball at Epcot. They also have KidCot for the kids, and that was something nice and kind of free to do while instead of just like waiting in line for rides or anything. But we were able to walk around to all of the different countries, and within each country they have a little stop where the kids could get a sticker so they could say that they visited each one. It was like a little passport. It was very cute and it was something to pass the time. Also, Epcot is so huge, we absolutely needed a stroller. We ended up getting one for Calvin. Theo sometimes sat in it, but it was mostly for Calvin, who's 5. So yeah, we ended up spending the whole day there and we ate dinner at the coolest place ever. Again, it was a late lunch. We tried to do all like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock reservations so we could snack throughout the day and then have like a really big early dinner before heading back to the hotel. And we ate at this place called Space 2020. It was brand new at Epcot and I knew the boys would be so excited. So I actually signed up for like free Mouse Watcher, I think it was called, free notifications for when a table would open for 6. But like you can see here, it's totally space themed. We get a little ticket and we take like an elevator / rocket ship type thing up into a space station. And when you walk in, all of the sides of the restaurant, you look like you're in outer space eating. The boys loved it, and actually the food was really, really good. We did all the little Nemo rides and we watched some Disney Pixar shorts and all that fun stuff too. And we didn't wait in any lines the entire day. Even when we rope dropped, we walked right back. Maybe it was 5 minutes from the time we walked into the getting in line to the time we were on the ride. When you have the lightning lane, you just take your band and you just go up. It's just like the old Fast Pass was. So you would just basically get to walk right onto the ride, or maybe like a 5-minute wait, but you bypass the entire line. And because we were home early, we got to watch the fireworks from our balcony. We were on the ground floor, but it was so cool to see the fireworks. You could hear a little bit of the music, but we could mostly just see the show. Day 3 was our Animal Kingdom day, and we really only spent half a day there. Again, we got to the park at 7:30 when it opened. We actually, for our lightning lanes that day, we got Avatar and the Safari. So Avatar was a purchased one, and the Safari was our free lightning lane, the first one that we got. I forgot to mention this earlier, but when you book the 7 a.m. one, you have a 120 minute, so a 2-hour cooldown before you can book another lightning lane. And throughout the day, you will see the lightning lane times change based on how many people are purchasing them. There is one kind of trick to the 120 minute cooldown. If you purchase a, let's pretend it's noon right now, and you can purchase a lightning lane for like 12:25. Let's say something is open, it says 12:25, you'll go ahead and book it. This will be with your regular Genie Plus. The second you go in line and scan your pass, scan your magic band saying that you're here, you can then book another one. So it's either until that lightning lane has been used or a 120-minute cooldown. So Animal Kingdom, we all loved Avatar, except my mom. It was a lot of motion sickness for her. But the boys loved it. Riding Banshees, they thought was so cool. Both of my boys are very tall, so they were actually able to ride every ride at the park, except for Calvin could not ride Rock and Roller Coaster because he's not 48 inches just yet. I think he's like 46. But everything else they rode, we went on Dinosaur, we had a little lunch at one of the cafes there, but we kind of just spent the morning, and then around 12:30, we hopped on the bus back to our hotel and relaxed for a bit before dinner. And our dinner that night was Chef Mickey's, so we hopped on the monorail. But let me tell you, this is our third family trip to Disney World. The past two were like around conferences, so we just kind of went because I was already going and we spent a day or two there, but I knew nothing about like Disney planning. It can seem like a lot, it can be a little overwhelming. So I was never able to secure like character dining at any of those times. I didn't know about getting into like the best restaurants. I didn't know how to get fast passes that well. So we just kind of showed up, walked around, and we always had the best time, but I was determined for this trip to figure it out. So you know, you get 60 days before you can book a reservation. I was like, online, ready to go. So I got a Chef Mickey's. If you're going to do character dining, that one checks all the boxes. It has all the main characters. They come up really close to the table. You can take pictures, they dance. The food was pretty good too. We did another one at Hollywood Studios called Hollywood and Vine because I just tried to grab like as many things as I could. And Hollywood and Vine was very similar. All the characters are dressed up in like suits and dresses, a little more fancy. But the food I thought was actually better at Chef Mickey's, and the experience I thought was a little better too. So between the two, if you get a choice, I would pick Chef Mickey's. All right, day 4 was our Hollywood Studios day, and this was the day I was most nervous for using the Genie Plus because the rides there are just so sought after. So we decided, because of the boys, our main free lightning lane that we had to try to secure at 7 a.m. was going to be Slinky Dog Dash because it sells out in seconds and we did not want to wait in line. So I woke up at 7 o'clock. I think we actually used the world clock. My sister like looked at the world clock and we waited till 6:59, refreshed it, and I was able to, like, I'm talking about within 15 seconds maximum, I was able to get us a time. But as it was going through, I think I clicked like 9 a.m. time, and by the time I had checked out, you know, 6 seconds later, whatever it actually is, we were able to secure a time for 2:30. That's how fast they go, but we were able to get one, and there's 6 of us, so we were able to do that. We ended up going again early at Rope Drop, and we walked right to Toy Story Mania, another one that my boys love. Now, the only ride we weren't able to get on at this park was Tower of Terror, because once Slinky Dog Dash was sold out, everybody was, you know, getting the Star Wars rides and they were doing Tower of Terror. But because of that cooldown, by the time I could pick another lightning lane, Tower of Terror was completely gone for the day. We did try to go over and see if we could wait in line, but it was so hot, and the line was like 130 minutes, and honestly, we hadn't waited in line for anything all day, so we ended up skipping it. We did get Rise of the Resistance that we wanted to. That one I also purchased right away, but we could not go on it until like 4:30 was our time. But I was just happy we got it, and it is the coolest ride. We loved it. All right, and our last day we spent at Magic Kingdom, and we split it up into 2 parts. So we had the morning there, and then we went back later in the evening so we could watch the fireworks. So in the morning, again, we rope dropped. It was super easy to get to from Grand Floridian because we can take the monorail. It's like 2 minutes, not even. I don't know, it's right there. So we got there early in the morning. We went on It's a Small World. We got Splash Mountain. We did all the fun little rides we wanted to. And then we had a 1 o'clock lunch at Be Our Guest, which is Beast's Castle. And that was a really fun experience. The food there was also really, really good. We got steak and scallops, and I even got a little champagne. And the Beast kind of walks around the castle. Now, I will say, very different from a Chef Mickey type character dinner. The Beast in the castle, he kind of like does like a really quick walk through the castle, a little wave. He doesn't stop, he doesn't really do anything. We did get really lucky because when we walked in, we happened to walk right by him, and he happened to stop and bow at Theo, which was really cool. And then especially being there for like an hour and a half, we figured out that he doesn't really do that. So it's not like Chef Mickey's where they pose and you can get pictures. It was a little different. And when we went back at night, we did Space Mountain, the 7 Dwarves roller coaster, and we got to watch the fireworks in person, which was So beautiful. Oh my gosh, I absolutely loved it. So I didn't share every single ride we did, but we did a ton. I'll put a little montage at the end of this video, kind of just showing you our experience. You can see some of the rides that we did. The boys had the best time ever. It was our best family trip so far. They're already begging about when they can go back to Disney World. And I'm like, in a couple more years, it's very expensive, but it was so worth it. So that was a little bit about our Disney trip. If you are planning a trip soon, if you have any questions, drop them down in the comments. I will see if I can answer them for you, and I hope this was a little bit helpful. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.